Howdy folks, Captain Kedger here, and decided to get on here and make a little recording because it's 6 months of living in a canoe. Now, granted, it's a modified canoe. Y'all know. Anybody who's been following knows. If not, look at my other videos and you'll see what I mean. That's my thing. I modify canoes. I don't really have a thing, but right now it's my thing. You know, I love sailing, and it's a thing that's evolved. I used to use a canoe to get around a lot in the area where I lived on a sailboat, and I started taking an umbrella with me for shade when I wanted to take a break or whatever. And I noticed one day when the wind was going my way that I was like, hey, I could put this umbrella up in front of me and just hold it out there and it would pull me along. As long as the wind wasn't so strong, it flipped the umbrella inside out, and I started looking into getting stronger and stronger umbrellas, and ones that were more resistant to salt water, and I called it Sailing Mary Poppins style, because for the older folks, you'll know what I mean. But anyway, that evolved into makeshift mast and throwing up a tarp for a sail, or an old bed sheet on a pole made of the wooden rod from a closet hanger rod, for a mast and boom. And let me see, my first rig was 2x4 outriggers with 4 Hawaiian punch bottles on it, 2 on each end, tied on with some tie wire, and closet 2-inch closet rod dowels. Maybe they were 1.5 inches, something like that. Wooden closet hangers for mast and boom, and sheets that I stitched into triangles for sails, and a little sloop rigged canoe. Sailed it all over Tampa Bay, and that was my dinghy that I sailed around. I'd say I sailed it all the way to Miami, but I was actually sailing a bigger sailboat, and I towed that behind and used it as my ship to shore and my supply boat. But I was sailing it in ports from Tampa to Miami, and let's see some more of my backstory. Over the years, I've modified several canoes and turned them into little sailing vessels that you could cruise around in, but I never really stayed like extended living like this. I don't call it living in it. It's kind of camping out, but I'm taking an extended camping trip. Let's see, what can I say? It's my 6 month anniversary out here with my hammerhead, sailing around. I've been making some improvements that when I get done or to a certain stage, I'm going to show you here. Making them a little easier to weather in and batten down the hatches when it's about to rain and stuff. Shade when I'm sailing. Working on getting the solar panels up overhead so they're out of the way. and don't get broken. That's kind of important. I still haven't gotten to doing that yet. So some of the things I've been working on. Let's see. I guess this is gonna be some random ramblings. So I looked at the news this morning and I saw Juniper Springs is closed because massive gator chasing kayakers. And as a nature animal guy, and a guy who's had plenty of experience around such animals in the swamps and camping in Florida, and as a guy who's currently in a canoe in crocodile territory and gator territory, and the season, their season is coming up. They're already active now, but, they're getting more and more. Like we're gonna see more and more of them now that it's warm again. Yeah, I plan on eventually crossing Lake Okeechobee in this, and there are some humongous, there are numerous humongous alligators in that lake. and all along the canals there. So this matters to me. Don't feed alligators. That's my message to the people who think that it's cute. This trend of people that are feeding these animals on social media, like you think it's cool to show people, look at me scratching his chin and feeding him chicken, and he loves that. Oh, look at how he loves being scratched on the chin like that. Folks, let me explain it to you. A gator is an ambush predator. They like to sneak up on you and snatch you under. No amount of feeding them will get them to reach a point at which they feel loyal to you, where they won't bite you. They're a very powerful prehistoric animal, and they have a small brain and zero loyalty. And when they get big enough to eat you, they have zero fear of you. But most animals either fear humans or don't consider them food, because we smell like synthetics, we smell like chemicals, we smell like soaps, deodorants, perfumes, colognes, etc., etc. We got chemicals in our foods that we sweat out in our pores, and animals think of us like, oh, like what is that? It's like part machine. Like, why is it sweating oil, motor oil? Like, what's going on? They don't really consider us food. There's very few species that just right away come up and think of us as food. For like, people get done in by big cats and things like that. Those are ambush predators. They might just be honing their skills, not hungry. And even with the gators, like, they might not even be hungry. They just decide that you're there at the water's edge and you're not paying attention, and you might compete with them for food. So done. But anyway, point is, they generally will just ignore humans because they don't consider us food and they don't consider us a threat. But when somebody starts feeding them, they start associating people with food, and they don't come to a point where they are loyal to you and won't bite you. What's going on is that person feeding that gator knows how to handle that gator. Like, you'll see them in a boat where the gator's lower jaw is up against the side of the boat, and they're not allowing the gator, they're pushing up on its lower jaw with either their foot or one hand while they're feeding it with the other, and they're keeping the gator's head up to where he can't get the lower jaw down and snatch their leg or take their face off. They know how to handle that animal, and it's not that they're not lap dogs, okay? The gator thinks, oh, people feed me food, but then they rethink it, and when they rethink it, one of the words out of that drops because they're not very smart. They got a little brain, and they think people feed food, and then they rethink it again and they go, people, food, people, food, people, food. And you see what I'm saying? And then they associate people with food, and it, you know, in their mind it's like, okay, I go to people and they don't smell like food, but they throw me good food and it tastes good, you know, so let's go get food from people. But on the day that people don't throw me some steaks or chicken or whatever, we're gonna go ahead and snatch the person, okay? And that's what goes on. Like, these people on the kayaks out there, they don't know how to handle gators, so stop doing it. Thank you. That's enough of Captain Kedger's random ramblings. As you know, the message for today is don't feed the wildlife. It is not your lap dog, that is not your pet, and you're teaching them to go after kayakers, and now nobody can kayak Juniper Springs because of you. You have yourself to thank, for nobody gets to enjoy the kayaking experience today at Juniper Springs. And whatever happens, animal control, fish and wildlife has to go out there and deal with that animal in whatever way they decide, be it relocating or whatever. There's not really a way to relocate because there's no place where they're not overpopulated already. So what happens with that? Would they put it in the zoo, in Gatorland Zoo, or what? What can they do now that that gator's conditioned to go to people for food and it's terrorizing people? What can they do? Maybe they take it to the restaurant at Wakaiba and serve it up as sandwich, because it's a problem. You know, you're not doing that animal any favors. So stop feeding them, people. It's not cool. And I thought it was illegal. You know, I don't understand why you're posting a video on on the internet of you committing a crime. So I don't know, maybe the prosecutor can't prove by the video where you are, so they don't know which prosecutor should go after you for what region. But I don't know. But like, it's kind of weird that you're posting yourself like breaking the law. But even worse, you're not thinking about the reason. Like, some laws are there for a good reason, and you should probably follow them, and that's one of them. Stop feeding the gators, because I don't want to call you names, but I want to call you names. I want to call you names that are associated with people with a severe lack of intelligence. Like, seriously, stop feeding gators. Don't do it. Okay? Okay. That's enough of Captain Kedger's Random Ramblings. Man, that's over 15 minutes of Captain Kedger's Random Ramblings. So, until next time, y'all have a great day.